What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about The Last of Us Part 2 news of the day. Honestly, a little strange to kind of just come out in, I guess, early July, we can call it, right? Would have been probably better of an announcement for The Last of Us, like the day, in June that they celebrate. They probably, I imagine, wanted to, and it just wasn't ready for that time, but pretty interesting. I mean, I think it goes into like, okay, we're ready for something else, but this is still an update and something that maybe you could find value in. So it's chronological mode. You can play the game in sequential order like that. So, and it's actually kind of funny. In the blog post, they highly stress that like this was not the way it was designed. It was designed to be with flashbacks and doing it that way. That is the preferred method. That is the one that they would still recommend. But now they also say, try this one out, see how this one works. I honestly think it's not a bad idea whatsoever. To me, honestly, I would compare it Beyond Two Souls. If you guys remember that gem of a game, I honestly really, really love that game. That's no joke. I think that game's really good. And that game, I actually like playing it in the way that they designed it. I know it bounces all over the freaking place, and to be honest, it bounces way, way more than The Last of Us 2 does. But I prefer it that way, and they did the same thing. I think afterwards they added on, or maybe it was even the same day, the day the game came out, they added the ability that you could play it just literally young to old, right? And I think a lot of people probably preferred it that way, but I liked kind of jumping around and trying to take the journey the way they intended it to be, originally. And I would say that kind of mindset right there is the same thing I would say for this. I think there could be something rather valuable to all those flashbacks. They kind of just fold into each other, and so you do all the flashbacks basically first, and then you get to the new stuff. And I guess they don't outright say it, but I think what they mean is like, so you would do day one as Ellie, and then day one as Abby, and then you do day two as that, so back forth. And I do think there could be some value there. Like, I actually think that's an interesting change. I mean, is it worth playing it just to kind of see like how it flows? Sure. Is it like an absolute like must? Like I have to. In fact, I literally just replayed it for only the second time ever for the 5-year anniversary. Am I gonna go back in just to do it like this? No. Maybe the next time I play it, whenever that might be, maybe I would do it that way just to kind of check it out. But I like the intended way originally, even if it wasn't the intention. Like the way that the game shipped, right, is kind of the way I want to like give the game. But it's just interesting because throughout their blog posts, they kind of stress like this was not how we wanted to do it. We think there's a lot of value in the way we did do it, but now you have this way, if you want to. And they also do say, though, a couple extra things. Well, number one, Nix's is helping them with this too. Nix's is doing everything. They're putting games on Xbox. They're doing PC ports. They're adding extra modes to existing games. Jesus, we talk about Bungie and probably the huge financial mistake that was to buy them. Nix's is maybe the most used. They're such an important developer that it's very, very good PlayStation got them in the fold, because they do quite literally porting to other consoles. They do everything humanly possible, so very impressive by them. But they also added trophies. I think you get 2 different trophies if you just beat the thing in chronological order. So I love trophies. That's a cool thing. And then when you do that and you do beat the game in this order, you'll get 2 skins. And as soon as I saw the picture, I knew, but in case you didn't know, they added it on. So you have Joel dressed as Nate, and then Tommy dressed as Sam. Cool. Again, is it going to change anybody's life? No, but it's still a nice little update there that I can appreciate from them. And, like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, like there is nothing wrong, I should say, with like just adding random free updates to stuff. I think there's just you have to strike some sort of balance in like the minds of us, right? Like I think Astrobot works really well when they're just dropping these DLC stages kind of all the time. It's probably in your head, okay, well, hopefully they're working on the next game. And this is kind of like, well, we'll give you just some free stuff. Like you don't have to play it, but it's super cool. You can, but we're also doing the next thing. But yet again, I mean, I guess it does line up. Isn't that part 1, part 2, like that collection box thing, which has a really cool cover art, by the way? Doesn't that come out like today, tomorrow, next day? Like, so it does, I guess, line up in that way. Season 2 of the show just ended, right? Lines up with that as well. So definitely makes sense why they would do something like this, and just a fun little add-on thing. And who knows, maybe it really does kind of change the experience. Maybe they heard from people that said, hey, could we do it this way instead of the way you had it? I wonder like how how they came up with like why they wanted to do it this way. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.